So, over the years, I have learned a few things about Greg Popovich. Number one, don't ask him a yes or no question unless the only thing you want him to say back to you is yes or no. Number two, if you run into him in a restaurant, just order whatever you see on his plate, because I swear he is always right about picking the best food in the house. And number three, Pop never says anything by accident. That last one was important to remember yesterday when, a little bit out of the blue, Pop volunteered that he would be surprised if Kawhi Leonard comes back this season. It was a shocker, and it caused a tidal wave of Kawhi done for the year headlines on the internet. But note the actual language Pop used. He didn't actually rule out Leonard, who has a quad injury. In fact, Pop sort of hedged the whole thing. Here's his longer quote.
We only have X number of games left in the season, and he's still not ready to go. And if by some chance he is, it's going to be pretty late into the season, and it's going to be a tough decision. How late you bring somebody back. So that's why I'm just trying to be honest and logical. I'll be surprised if he gets back this year.
So Pop really emphasizing there, this whole situation is getting to do or die decision time. And sure, he's making the point to the reporter standing there, but it also seems pretty clear he's making that point to someone who wasn't in that gym. Someone Adrian Wojnarowski reports has actually been away from the Spurs on the East Coast. Yes, he was also talking to Kawhi Leonard. Usually, we don't see this from the Spurs, right? They like to do everything behind closed doors. But over the past 10 months, the Kawhi relationship has unraveled in a way no one could have predicted. Basic conversations have been problematic. And now, Woj is reporting that Kawhi, medically cleared by the team to play since December, is opting not to. Still, right now, there is reportedly disagreement over how much pain he should be playing with. Kawhi has been seeking second opinions, and the whole thing has apparently caused high levels of tension and stress around the team. Remember, Kawhi's only played 9 games this year. He is scheduled to become a free agent in 2019, which means it's this coming summer that the Spurs can offer him a supermax deal to entice him to stay. Now, will they still offer it to him if things remain this frosty and his health remains this uncertain? Will he even want to take it? And if you're Kawhi Leonard and you watch what happened to Isaiah Thomas in Boston when IT sucked it up and took one for the team and played hurt to such a degree the Celtics later decided he was damaged goods and traded him, well, how protective of your own body would you be? None of these questions are easy to answer, and they're especially difficult if the two sides aren't even really communicating with each other, which is how we ended up with Pop in that gym yesterday, talking to someone who wasn't there. Scotty, you're watching this video, and I see your face. What do you think of this situation?
Well, it's a tough situation, Rachel. You know, as a player, my first year in the league, I had back surgery. And it was a situation a lot like Kawhi, where I didn't have the confidence to go back on the court yet, but the doctors had cleared me. And I think it takes the player to be ready before he can go into the court. You have to be mentally ready. You have to know that you're physically ready. And emotionally. The season is so long. When you want to compete, you want to be put out there and not have any restrictions as far as minutes and things of that nature. So you never know what he's going through as a player and how this injury has played out with him. And you can't compare him to any other player.
So what happened with you?
Well, I eventually came back, but I came back when I was ready. I came back when I felt ready to play and not when the doctor said that I was ready.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's up to the player to make that decision because no doctor can tell you how your body feels. You can do a diagnosis, you can do x-rays, MRIs, but ultimately it's up to the player on how he feels. And you got to understand, Kawhi is looking at different situations like Isaiah. Isaiah Thomas could have cost himself a lot of money by going out there playing. Who knows if he's ever going to be the same. Maybe Kawhi saw that and was like, look, it's better for me to rest, get fully healthy for the long run. Like we said, he's up for the Supermax this summer. There's a lot of money on the line this summer. So if he goes out there and he becomes damaged goods, then he can lose a lot of money.
I should note that right before the show started, we were just chatting about this, and I go, well, you know he's up for the Supermax. And they both were like, oh, no, then don't play. Don't play.
You're not comfortable, sit down.
All right, but you guys have to explain this difference to me a little bit because I've never been a professional NBA player. It is hard for us sitting on the sidelines to understand when we hear he's been cleared since December and it's February. Why is there such a big disconnect between what he feels and what the doctors see?
Well, I think, again, it's up to the players. And I think during the regular season, as a player, you don't want to play with pain. It's a difference playing in the playoff. There is a window where you can see the end. But when you're in the regular season and you still got to go through the playoffs, and now they're telling you to play with an injury, that's very difficult to deal with.
So, Paul, do you think that this was Pop saying, if you think you can just wait until a week before the playoffs to come back, you can't? I mean, is that what's going on here?
Like, just say he does wait to a week before the playoffs. He's not going to be in game shape. He could risk getting injured again. So, I mean, it's best for the player just to feel comfortable mentally. If you're not right mentally, how could you go out there and perform at the highest level that you're asked to perform at? And so, you know, if he needs to sit the rest of this year, he's still a young guy. I mean, he has a long career ahead of him. So take the year off, get the super max, come back healthy.
You know what? He definitely have a lot of upside, and I don't think that we've seen the best of this young player.
No, I mean, everyone thought he would grow this season and grow into maybe an MVP.
A lot of people had him at MVP, #1 for the MVP this year.
Yeah, well, we know what our friend Tracy McGrady would say, secure the bag. So there we go.